Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
I'm Glennon Doyle, author of Untamed and host of the podcast We Can Do Hard Things. Each week, we talk openly and honestly about the hard things in life together with you. So join us and some of our dearest friends and greatest heroes to talk about anxiety, boundaries, parenting, infidelity, our bodies, loving and losing, all of the things that make us human. Listen to and follow We Can Do Hard Things on Odyssey and everywhere you get your podcasts.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. By the way, some people have let us know, including the Reverend Enfuego from the BJ and Biggs in the morning. They have Spurs for Crocs.
Oh,
someone else, people are confirming they have Spurs for Crocs, and they do wear Crocs in Texas.
Holy cow.
Okay. You're going to put Spurs on Crocs?
It's Texas.
Yeah, I know, but I feel even in Texas, like, son, either put on boots or take the goddamn Spurs.
They do it in Wyoming, then.
Off your weird, holy sandal things you're wearing there.
I will say this. If you're wearing Spurs on your Crocs, you know what they'll tell you.
What's that?
He's all hat, no cattle.
Yeah. All right, today we chose 24-year-old Becky Stiles of Colchester, UK. Now, Becky was changing her 10-month-old's diaper when she spotted, and this is terrifying for any parent, a dark circle on the roof of the kid's mouth. So she calls her parents. She's a mother of 3. She calls her parents, drops the 2 older kids off at the grandparents, rushes her kid to the hospital because she's very terrified about what happened to her kid. So she suspected her baby either had an ulcer or a tumor. It was like a black dot on the roof of the kid's mouth. Before she could even get into the hospital, medics came outside to greet her, and a medic pulled out a flashlight, took a look inside the toddler's mouth, and sure enough, there was, in fact, a dark circle in that kid's mouth. But the doctor was like, oh, don't worry about it. It's just a black sticker. Well, Becky explained that's not a sticker. It is a hole in the roof of my kid's mouth. Then the doctor placed his finger in the kid's mouth and pulled the black sticker out of the kid's mouth and sent Becky home. Jesus. He was like, it's a sticker. She's like, it's not a sticker. It's a hole. She stuck his finger and pulled it out. It's a sticker. Go home. And now, this is what I like. She's like, I just want to warn other parents not to have stickers around.
Oh,
shut. Like, shut. Yeah. Thank you. You echoed my sentiments exactly.
Come on, you idiot.
So we pour this booze, and we drink this booze, because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichona!
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Bryce. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Hola! All right, Bryce, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes, I do.
Fantastic. You have your choice of one of 3 stories. The Wonderful World of Drugs. We have Bite Me. In other words, what did someone find in their food? And finally, Interior Decorating, where you guess the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone.
I think I'm going to have to go drugs on this one.
The drugs it is. And for today's drug story, we stay right here in the fine city of Seattle, Washington, where officers working a narcotics operation in Seattle's International District arrested a man on Monday evening, recovered 2 firearms and narcotics, plural, because this guy is what we call a drug piñata. Now, the incident unfolded around 6 p.m. when police spotted the man they believe was selling narcotics in the 800 block of South King Street. Side note, that is very close to our office building. We get off the air at 6. Cops, if you could have just waited 15 minutes, maybe I could have hooked up with this guy and bought my crap, but I digress. Officers stopped him and found that he was carrying the 2 handguns in addition to 4 grams of one drug, 2.7 grams of another drug, and some of another drug. They also found $2,700 in cash. Well, they booked the 47-year-old suspect into the King County Jail for investigation. Blah, 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 blah. Here's my question. What did he not have on him? Which one of these drugs did he not have on him? Was it heroin, meth, crack, or fentanyl?
Oh, man, that's a hard one. You said he was caught at 6 o'clock.
Yeah. Right when our show ended.
I'm going to have to ask Ted here what's his thought.
My initial thought, the area he was caught in, what I can tell, and I've walked these streets every day, crack cocaine. Because I fully believe he had some heroin, some meth, and some fentanyl on him.
Yeah, if he was caught at 6 just yesterday.
Monday.
Or Monday, a weekday, I think I'm going to have to agree with that one. I don't think he had any coke on him. It must have been much harder.
Is it crack or coke?
Crack.
I'm just saying,
Oh, crack.
Yeah, I see a lot of needles and stuff. Like, Seattle, unfortunately, is kind of famous for needles and this and that. Not so much crack.
I'm going to buck the trend here. I'm going to go heroin for whatever reason.
Oh, I'm almost guaranteeing there was heroin, so I'm going to have to stick with crack.
Okay. All right. Final answer.
Crack.
Okay.
Crack.
All right, Bryce, we're going to find out what he did not have. Would that be heroin and meth, crack, or fentanyl next?
That was a tease.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
A burst pipe at 3 a.m. is a bad way to start the day. A cold shower in November isn't invigorating. So before you start freaking, call Beacon. Beacon Plumbing, Heating, and Mechanical is just one call away 24 hours a day. 1-800-FREAKIN or beaconplumbing.net.
The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Category is drugs. On profile, the Seattle officers arrested a man in the ID with a whole lot of drugs and a gun and a lot of cash. Question is, he had so many drugs on him, what drug did he not have in his possession? Would that be heroin, meth, crack, or fentanyl?
And Bryce, that is the very question that we posed with you. Now, you asked the Ted Smith for some advice. The Ted Smith went crack. You agreed, said, man, crack. Oh, no, I'm afraid he had crack on him. See, if you'd known, you'd have met him down there. But yeah, he did have crack on him. Miles, you guessed heroin as the one drug he did not have. All right. You are correct.
No way.
Yeah. I know. No I'm right there with you.
I guess if you have fentanyl, you don't need real heroin.
He had fentanyl.
Now for all TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right, your choices today, the Jimmys,
Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel.
Seth Meyers.
All right, Seth in there.
Or Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
It is right there in the title. These guys have teams of talented writers to help them come up with the monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke and from whom? Or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
Everyone heard about the pipeline hack, and people are now making it worse by panic buying gas. Now, thousands of gas stations are out of fuel. This probably explains why my Uber driver gave me a piggyback to work.
Fallon. Yeah, Fallon. That's valid.
Well, everyone's heard about the pipeline hack, and people are actually making it worse by freaking out and panic buying gas. And now thousands of gas stations are out of fuel. See, this probably explains why my Uber driver gave me a piggyback to 30 Rock.
A Swedish robotics company recently unveiled a battery-operated glove that can prevent factory workers from chronic injuries caused by repetitive manual tasks. Tell me more, said teenage boys.
Seth Meyers. Jimmy Fallon.
Seth.
A Swedish robotics company recently unveiled a battery-operated glove that can protect factory workers from chronic injury caused by repetitive manual tasks. Tell me more, said teenage boys.
The ratings for last week's Saturday Night Live were massive, even despite the fact that host Elon Musk was not that funny in it. When asked about his performance, Musk has stated that he was on autopilot.
The Ted Smith. Ted Smith.
Man, that was me.
That's a good one, though.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
And in the back
it was you. Yeah, glad to see you got there. You're dead wrong. Natural Light has launched a line of sour hard seltzers to compete with White Claw. But White Claw's not worried about it because of their new slogan, it'll power your car during the gas shortage. Fallon, yeah.
Some more business news. I saw that Natural Light just launched its own line of sour hard seltzer to compete with White Claw. But White Claw's not worried. They have a new slogan. It'll power your car during the gas shortage.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has announced plans this week for a pop-up coronavirus vaccine sites at trains and subway stations because you're not a real New Yorker until you've been poked by a needle on the subway.
Myers.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo announced plans this week to roll out pop-up coronavirus vaccination sites at trains and subway stations because you're not a real New Yorker until you've been poked by a needle on the subway.
Let's see. Do you enjoy watching your girlfriend or wife cry every Monday?
Only if I'm responsible.
I believe it's Mondays.
No.
Well, they won't be crying as much anymore because This Is Us is ending.
I believe that is a Wednesday night experience.
Oh, that's why I'm the TV guy.
I think. I'm not sure, but I'm glad. I'm glad.
I did not bother to look
leaving.
that up. I just thought with 100% confidence, I was like, yeah, it's a Monday show.
I'm glad it's leaving.
I thought it was a Friday night show.
The commercials come on, and it's always. I don't know much about the show, but every commercial, and I know my wife watches it, and I can never remember the name of it because I always call it We Be This, to the point I literally forget the name.
I always call it This Is Crying.
Right. Dude, that's all it is. And every commercial for every episode, there's some horrible thing going on. I'm like, these people need to change their lives. They make poor life choices. That's all I get out of the show. I know your family, but all of you suck as human beings.
It's a Tuesday show.
I was just about to say, like,
it's Tuesday.
Mike, as soon as you looked at me in my head, I went,
we're all around it.
We're both wrong. It's a Tuesday show. Mm-hmm. You're right. Bachelor, Bachelorette all Monday. Yeah. And all their promos are like, oh, they're powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're all powerful because somebody's crying about something. That is what the show is.
Yeah, people are dying, people are crying.
Yeah, like they're miserable people that make bad decisions.
I try to avoid that.
Yeah, in my life, I don't like things that make me sad.
I don't.
It's coming to an end after 6 seasons.
I'm sure it'll be a very powerful episode to end.
Oh, somebody will OD or whatever.
You can't miss it. Anyhow, like, it's just ended. There's no big story behind it. But people love that show. It gets massive ratings. You know, it's a whole thing. So, that's ended.
All right, well, they're doing it at the right time then.
All right, let's see. So Entertainment Weekly, they put together a list of the 50 best teen shows of all time.
Teen shows.
Right.
So like 90210, stuff like that.
So basically the criteria was prominently featuring characters between the ages of 13 and 19 and tackle teen issues.
Okay. All right.
You know.
Is that like Miley Cyrus, maybe? Hannah Montana? Does that include that?
Was she tackling like big issues?
I think Hannah Montana.
Disney was
because she seemed a little more frivolous and silly. But
right,
then there's
and Hannah Montana, I want to say, is a little bit, that's skewed a little bit younger as well. I think that was like more for like kids and stuff. Right?
It's still amazing that Miley Cyrus, as we know her now, was Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
Because when she was Hannah Montana, all we know of her is, oh, she's this goody-goody girl. And once she got out of that contract, like, I'm not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ripping bong hits on the set of Hannah Montana.
Yeah. It's also weird because they didn't include family shows where the drama mostly takes place inside the home, like Seventh Heaven and Blossom. But there is other like kind of family shows like that on there. All right, so let's see. Some of these shows, keep in mind, they're teen dramas, but also you were part of that era.
Ooh, Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night Lights is number one.
Oh, it is?
What? Damn, Miles.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a drama.
That was number one. You know what's funny? I've seen the movie a bunch of times. I recognize all the characters and the memes from Friday Night Lights, the TV show. Never really watched it much.
Nah, I never saw an episode.
People did like that, though.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That came in number 2.
They had traditional teen problems, the undead trying to kill you and stuff like that.
All right, now we'll, as I get down the list, I'll tell you, you can just name off if you've seen them. Number 3, The O.C. I used to watch that.
Did not.
I remember
Who was the
being
star
on
of The
it.
O.C.?
Misha Barton.
Okay. Seems like one of those shows always pulls one or two characters that go on to do bigger things.
I don't think she did a lot of bigger things, though. But for a
My
while
understanding
on that
was-
show, she was a massive, massive star.
She was a huge star, and my understanding is when that show kind of ended, it looked like she had a really good career in front of her, but she was one of those people, as I've heard, was exceptionally difficult to work with.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I believe that was her demise.
Next on the list, and I definitely used to watch this one on Thursday nights, Beverly Hills 90210.
Yep, sure. Massive, 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 massive show.
Huge show. Next on the list at 5, they had Freaks and Geeks.
I never saw it. I know people that liked it, really, really liked it. I never saw it.
Well, it only had like a season or two as well. Now, it has an amazing cast and writers. Like, basically almost everybody that was on the show or associated is a massive star now.
Isn't that where, like, Franco and Rogan met or something like that? Really?
Yeah.
I just read that recently because they're having her falling out.
Jonah Hill's, I think. Isn't Jonah Hill like an actor in there? Maybe.
It
I
makes
confuse
sense
it.
if he was.
Yeah, but there's a ton of people on that show. But and I don't think when it came out, it was
It was a hit. It's one of those things that
right.
became popular after they canceled it.
Correct. Gilmore Girls on the WB. I've never seen Gilmore Girls. People still love that show.
They
coming
binge-watched
back.
that thing when it was on Netflix. It was one of the highest downloaded shows at the beginning of the pandemic. Everybody was watching Gilmore Girls.
It's also weird, too. Like, last night I was watching these Sounders on Joe TV. And then I was talking to my buddy, Joe, ironically. And we were going through the incarnation of Joe TV.
Right, yeah.
And I was like, it was the WB. And then before that, I want to say it was And then there was like a UPN phase.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God, I forgot about UPN. Yep.
Yeah.
Jesus. United Paramount Network.
WWB. I can only see Chappelle, man.
It's a frog.
My So-Called Life on ABC. Veronica Mars.
Haven't seen either one of those, no.
This is one I definitely watched. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah, all right.
And then the reason we were talking about the WB last night is we were talking about Dawson's Creek.
Oh, God, right. Yeah. I never saw an episode of that, but very familiar with the Beak.
I never watched Dawson's Creek. Watched the last episode.
What's up with the last? Katie Holmes get naked?
It was just a massive deal. Everybody, like, people were talking about it forever. I was bored out at a shift when we used to have TVs in the studio. This is in Baltimore, and I was like, oh, watch
And
the
since
last.
that point in time, James Vanderbeek, I think he and his wife had like 5, 6 kids.
He has 173
I mean, it's
children.
unbelievable.
He's like Philip Rivers.
He's just been playing dad.
Vanderbeek?
Yeah.
Why don't you pop one out and get him back in?
I saw James Vanderbeek recently on that show I like on True TV called Fast Foodies, where they recreate the fast food. He is a very attractive man.
The Beak.
He is. Some other shows that made the list of the top 50, not the top 10. Saved by the Bell was on there. I'm just going to highlight the ones I liked or watched. Saved by the Bell, A Different World.
Oh, good show.
Right? Wonder Years. And then I'm going out on a limb here, but I'm guessing you two watched this one. Happy Days.
Yeah.
Yeah, growing up.
Yeah.
Looking back, I wish I didn't. But yeah, certainly at the time. I mean, you were like 7, 8 years old, whatever.
Just watched it for the Fonz, pretty much.
He was one of the most earth-shattering moments of my life. So Fonzie was Fonzie, right? Happy Days goes off the air. You didn't have all the coverage you have these days because we were cavemen, but I remember Henry Winkler showed up on like some daytime interview show, like Dinah Shore or some crap. But anyway, my mom's like, hey, the Fonz is going to be on. I'm super excited because he was the coolest guy. Henry Winkler is the exact opposite of the Fonz. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's a good guy, but I'm like, wait, this guy sounds like Woody Allen. You know, he seems all uncomfortable all the time.
Yeah, it was the same way for me with some of the Seinfeld people. You're like, Jason Alexander isn't actually funny. He's just a good actor.
Yeah, he's not funny.
No, he's a thespian.
Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You are listening to The Men's Room.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
When the hot water needs to be hot, when the drain needs to drain, when the toilet needs to flush, you need to do two things. Stop freaking and call Beacon. Beacon Plumbing, Heating, and Mechanical. On call and there when you need them most. 1-800-FREAKIN or beaconplumbing.net.
Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Florida woman says the cops were called because someone was jealous her body looked so good. Meanwhile, a Florida anti-masker dares cop to arrest him and is shocked when he found out he could. Pregnant mom plans to live stream herself giving birth. More shocking than people actually want to pay for that. Two planes collide in midair in Denver, and whoa, there goes my hat. And a cabbie is shocked to learn that a man he picked up outside of a bank had just robbed him. It is time for a headline.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cock.
All right, top story. We got a Winnipeg where a man was assaulted for not being very Canadian. The man was sitting in the drive-thru of a local coffee shop when he was approached by a random stranger. Stranger asked him if he would buy him a coffee, but was rejected, so he responded by punching the man in the face. Officers witnessed the incident and picked up the random stranger.
They were right there.
I mean, damn, man.
Right, if you're going to ask me, then that opens up the possibility of my saying no. Don't get mad if I tell you no.
Right, there's only one of two answers.
Right.
You know what? They should have done it like the gender reveal party. Right, because gender reveal, it's one of the two. That's why I don't understand why it's such an exciting thing. But same thing. Ooh, my answer. I'm going to buy you a cup of coffee. Let me load up a cannon.
Right.
Because it's either going to be yes or no. Blue for yes, pink for no, and no! I'm not going to buy a cup of coffee.
Don't mind me as I drive away while you wait for that thing.
I'm going to do that now with every yes or no question. Like, let me load the cannon. Would you like a refill on your beer? Hang on.
You would just have 50 cannons.
Yes!
You just have 50 cannons filled with no, man. Anytime anybody asks you something, here's a no cannon.
No can do cannon.
No can do. In other news, down in Florida.
You think I care cannon.
Ooh, that's a different cannon.
Every time at the grocery store cannon. Every time.
In other news, down to Florida where a young lady had a rough night. A hotel employee noticed a woman in a two-piece bathing suit enjoying their pool, but didn't recall ever checking her into the hotel. After an inquiry, the woman became irate and took off, found by the members and police at the hotel next door walking a dog. The woman claimed that she had done nothing wrong, and the police were only called because the woman running the desk was merely jealous that her body looked good.
And I would have told her if I was one of the cops. You're absolutely correct, and I'm from the FBI, the Federal Booty Inspector.
Exactly. Let me see what she was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Prove it.
Right. I don't believe
so
you.
She was walking a dog at the hotel. You think she was staying at the hotel next door, did not have a pool, and decided,
yep.
I'm
That's exactly right. They got a pool.
Oh, that's what it is.
Can you not do that?
I mean, go to a hotel pool if you're not staying there?
Now that I said it out loud, that's a stupid question.
I think I know what your question was. Are they really going to call the cops if you're in the pool and you didn't pay to stay
cops.
there? Right. You want to kick me out of the pool? Maybe write me a citation. Okay, I don't know what kind of citation hotels can write out, but I mean, I've had it. But
not one where they get anything for it.
Right. I'm thinking it's because it's a little bit later at night. This woman is visibly intoxicated. She was becoming a problem, and so you know what? Fine, I'm going to call the cops on your ass.
Right. She's becoming a problem.
Okay. Right.
All right, I'll be in a hotel pool in no time.
It probably would have been a gentle shooing, but you had to say, oh, no, my boyfriend's got the key and we're having a fight. That's why I'm out here in the pool.
Because he can't take my body either.
Oh, you're just jealous I look so good. We'll let the cops
I saw her mugshot. That no.
Right. No. Two women in Ohio got into it inside of a Walmart. This is a great story. As the story goes, one woman threatened the other and her 7-year-old daughter for whatever reason, and the fight turned physical. One pulled her mask down in an attempt to go full-on spitting cobra at the other, but missed her shot. So instead, she summoned her strength, grabbed her nearest weapon, a 10-pound log of ground beef, and mercilessly struck her across the face with it.
10-pound log?
Yeah,
I mean, 1 pound is... That big?
Oh,
You
yeah.
got to see
This
the
thing is
picture of it.
huge.
Oh, my God.
You've seen those things like the ground beef?
Yeah.
It's like half the length of a pool noodle, but about the same width, man.
It looks like an artisan bread roll, man.
And she shot this woman in the head.
That's across her face.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm guessing the fight ended.
It did. I just would be shocked. Like, did you just hit me with
I wonder if it was frozen.
No,
Oh,
no.
God.
It's in that little meat bin, so it's
All
still
right.
somewhat.
Okay. I'm going to look for this
loose.
10-pound log of beef. Sounds like a great starter log for a fire one night.
Smells delicious in
What are you
here.
making? I'll just start a fire.
Anybody sees Miles in the grocery store, he'll be over there just like, God,
Oh, the Duralog, man. This thing burns for hours.
A cab driver in Missouri had an interesting afternoon. He had one fare that was racking up the meter as he drove his passenger to 3 separate banks within one drive. Not thinking anything of it, he continued on the drive, but things got interesting when the cab was stopped by police, who then took his passenger into custody. You guessed it, the passenger was using the cab as a getaway car whilst robbing banks. The cab driver says that he was absolutely flabbergasted and had no idea what was going on.
You couldn't put 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 3 together.
I call bunk. That is it for your headlines with that. Mike Hawk is out.
We'll see you next time for Friday. Positive Friday.
Positive
Bad
Friday.
Choice Friday. And the return of Ted versus the FCC bitches.
Yes, indeed. It is all true. But in the meantime, we be all up out this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The men's room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.